Today I'm going to show you how to make a cottage lattice pattern in Procreate using a really simple stamp and rotate technique. I'm using just 2 digital stamps to build the pattern, and if you'd like to follow along or try it yourself, you can download them for free from the link in the description below. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to set up the canvas here so you can see. So this is a 12" by 12". I'll just go and get canvas information so you can see. 12 by 12, 300 dpi. Then I'm going to set up the drawing guide. So tap that and then tap edit drawing guide. And then here you've got the slider for the grid. Now for this actual design that I've created here to work with the stamps, I need to put this at 892. Tap the tick, and as you can see there's just a slight, you can see that there's just a slight, it's just slightly in from the edge, and you're dealing here with a 16 squares. We'll be mainly using the centre 4 to create the design. What we do now is on the layer 1 is we're going to give it ivory linen, so just pop that in there. So that's going to be our background colour, and then I'll add another layer, and this is where I'm going to pop all the details in. So I'm going to start off with the lattice block. This is from the free lattice stamp set, so that you can follow along with the video and have a try yourself. I'm going to change the colour. I'm going to use Olive Grove. I'm going to use 2 colours here so that it works. I've also noticed that the opacity is down, so I need to bring that up. The brush size needs to be 92%, and I've worked this out so that I know that it fits within the little squares. So I'm going to start off with the olive. Tap centrally, then turn, tap centrally, and then I'm going to pick another colour, blush rose. Again, this is from my Patternology Heritage Colours. I use a similar colour palette for most of my designs just to keep everything, then keeps a nice uniformity in design collections, so that's kind of how I work. And then another one and another one, so you can see there you're sort of creating a nice little checkerboard effect. And then I'll go into the erase tool, and in the free Cottage Lattice stamp set I'm going to use the lattice detail stamp, and again I'm going to make sure it's set at 92% so that I know that it fits with everything. And then it's tap in the centre, 1, 2, 3, 4, and as you can see it's starting to build quite a nice little pattern already. As you can see, not everything matches, which is fine because it gives that little cottage kitchen table vibe of hand printing by hand, and it can give that nice rustic, sort of an extra rustic feel to your designs. So now what I need to do is make a repeat. I'll select and group, and then duplicate the group, and then I'll go into the move tool. Make sure that snapping is on, and I'm going to move it up and wiggle it. What you're looking for is all of the orange little crosshairs there. Once you can see them, you know that you're sort of aligning to the edges properly, and your design should repeat without any nasty white lines. And then again move the other one down. Can't see, so yeah, so I've got little crosshairs there, so I know that that's okay. and then just open the groups and press down and select and move, press down and move, and then squish them together, then just delete that empty group so you're left with one group. Make sure that you're on the design layer. So I'm going to go back in now. I'm going to get the Olive Grove colour, and if I tap down you can see it's in the wrong place, so what I need to do is turn and tap so that the corresponding opposites there, and then turn, turn and tap, and then go and get the blush rose, turn, tap, and then tap. Oops. So there you can see, if you get it wrong, just 2 fingers down, undo and then turn, so there's no worry about errors. So what you can see is what we're aiming for is no 2 colours sitting next to one another. It's okay for them to just sort of touch in the centres there, so this gives that checkerboard feeling. So then I go back into the eraser, pick the lattice again, and then just zoom in and tap centre, turn, so it's like erase, turn, erase, turn, erase. You can see you've got your centres quite nicely attached there. Then we will duplicate the group again, and then this time I'm going to move left to right. So first go left, just make sure I can see the little orange lines, undo your groups and then move them in, and then squish them together and delete that group. Make sure you're on the detail again, and then we need to come in with a colour. So I'm going to keep it on pink. I'm on the lattice block and I want the pink there and the pink there, so whoops, we tap down, 1, 2, tap down, and you can see you've got that diagonal line happening with the colours, and then turn, tap down, 1, 2, tap down, then go and get the erase tool, just make it a bit bigger, tap, tap, tap. So you can see that checkerboard effect happening there, and then we've got one more to do. So again, duplicate. As you can see, it's quite repetitive, so you do get the idea of it eventually. And sometimes on something simple you can make mistakes because it's so simple. You're perhaps not concentrating as much, and that's when things can go wrong, but that's fine because I don't think it matters overly. It's very simple. Just stop and start again. There's nothing too crucial about this. It's just nice and easy to do. So put your components into the one layer, squish them down and delete, and then just make sure you're on that layer. And again go, I'm going to start with the green, so I'm going to want that green to fall there, and then I want it to go there, so I've got the diagonal line. And then I'm going to go and get the blush rose, twist round, tap, twist round, tap, oops, tap. Then go and get the erase. Let's make it a bit bigger so I can see. And then there you have quite a complicated looking pattern, but a real simple process. And you can use any colour combination. You could use 4 different colours, as long as you could do it however you want really, but I quite like that kind of a checkerboard. It makes for an interesting pattern, and then when you see it on fabric and product in situ, it can look really nice, really rustic. So what I'm going to show you now is how to check the pattern repeat a little better. So just duplicate, 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 duplicate. What you want is keep your master, and then you want 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I will then do is get the move tool and then just take the corners into the center of each of those layers just to test the repeat. So you can see if there's anything missing or not looking quite right. But with this process, sometimes the little errors are quite the charm of it. It's like a little bit of overprint, which just shows that hand created feeling. So you can see there you've got some little mishaps there. If you weren't happy with those, you could go back and redo it and maybe concentrate a little bit more, or you might want to just adjust the size of the brush. So I've got it at 92. You might think, oh, I'll try 91 or 90. So you can do lots of different ways with this. So it's only 2 brushes in the set, but the combinations of using the different colours, you can make quite an interesting, unique designs that are your own. And if you use them as erasers and stamps, then you've got that two ways of working. So the combinations of what you can do are quite broad really. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to try this pattern yourself, remember you can download the free digital stamps from the link in the description. And if you'd like to make your own stamps, watch the next video and I'll show you how to create digital stamps in Procreate